Okay. Right. So we come and stand, feet together, and then just step toes apart, bring those heels in line with the toes. And as always, we will just take a moment just to check in with how we feel, how we're doing at this particular moment. So just trying to take in any information from the body, really tune in to what's going on. So we've all had busy days. See if you can just clear your mind, forget about what's for tea or anything else, and start to focus on your feet and just noticing how they feel, where you can feel the contact through the base of each foot with the floor, and where the pressure is under each foot. And then just start to scan slowly up through the body. So noticing your ankles, how they are, lower legs, how your knees feel. Just taking in that info, trying not to acknowledge, not to analyze it, just acknowledge it. And then noticing your upper legs, how your hips are, any sensations around the pelvis and lower back, tummy, mid-back. Noticing how you feel around your rib cage and into that upper back and around your shoulder blades. And your actual shoulders and your arms, how they are, and your neck, and finally your head. Just tuning in. And when you're ready, start to roll the ankles in and out slowly. Noticing how, oh, big crunches from me, noticing how they are today. How they feel, how they move, how the one side compares to the other. You're always welcome to have a little look at what's going on. Sometimes what we feel is different to what is actually happening. I know that my right ankle and foot tends to move a little bit more easily than my left. Just noticing that. And then we'll bring those ankles to a nice middle position. So you've got that bit of lift under the inside of each arch on each foot. Pick up the toes, really spread them apart. See if they can stay spread as they relax back to the mat. And then just a little soften through the knees and tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards gently. So just thinking about the pelvis like the bowl of water, pouring some water out the front of that bowl and then out of the back of the bowl. Notice how that feels today. Does it feel the same through each side of your bottom? Does it feel same through each side of your lower back and your tummy? And then just coming into neutral, so you've got that bit of lift through the tummy and the water in your bowl would be nice and level. Widen across the collarbones. And just imagine your head is a helium balloon and that is floating up towards the ceiling, really giving you a feeling of lengthening through the back of the body and the back of the neck. And then just have a couple of deep breaths there. See if you can relax into that position. So letting that tension just dissipate. Still keeping that idea of the alignment, but not working too hard to keep yourself there. Nice big breath in. Really think about filling the whole of the body up with air as you breathe in and emptying out every last drop of stale air as you breathe out. And when you're ready, really small, just rolling through those shoulders super easily, very small movement. So you're just noticing how those are, how they feel, how they move. Keeping relaxed through the neck, head just floating up. Just taking in any information again. Feel my right shoulder's a bit crunchy today. Maybe taking those circles a little bit bigger as long as that feels good. If you feel that starts to go into your neck, Then just come off that a bit, maybe look to one side, look to the other side, come back to centre. And then have a little pause and we'll roll those shoulders forward. And again, just keeping it nice and easy. Again, going maybe a little bit bigger, but if the tension creeps in, then a little bit left, a little bit right. And then we'll pause and just roll back for a couple. Let those shoulders sit really heavy on top of the ribcage. We'll have hands on hips and we are just going to breathe in to come up onto those toes and breathe out to come back down again. So really thinking about whether you've got that equal weight into each foot, keeping the weight into the base of the big toe as you come up and gently back down. So just trying to keep that nice neutral alignment through the ankles. If you're one of those people where they really want to sort of creep out to the side, it's just got to work on keeping the weight into the base of the big toe on each foot. And just again, comparing one to the other. So my left one's not too bad, but my right one, because it's a bit more mobile, would like to roll out a little bit. And when I really keep the weight into the base of my big toe, I feel those calf muscles working slightly differently. So just noticing what it's like for you. Is it the same on each side? Is the pressure the same through each foot and into each big toe? So we're going to go into a little walking series. So we're going to come up and pause, then touch one heel down and then the other heel down. Still keeping that weight distribution the same. You've got that big toe nicely connected to the floor. Just breathing out each time the heel touches the floor, breathing in for it to come up. And with the hands on the hips, we want the pelvis stay nice and level, hands stay nice and level. Maybe thinking about those little bony hip points at the front of the pelvis, just gently drawing in towards each other on each out breath. That's it. So we're going to go a little bit quicker today because we have got a little bit of a casual cardio theme. We're not going to stick to it too strongly, but maybe just going a little bit quicker. So just working a little bit higher tempo, still touching those heels down as lightly as you can, going a little bit faster, which might challenge your ability to stay as level, to keep that control, but just still working on that. And then we're going to sort of alternate this with a little bit of a hamstring stretch. So we'll go 3, 2, 1, have a pause. You're going to step one foot forward and send those seat bones back behind you and come back up and then switch over. So I'll just turn sideways. We're just alternating legs, one heel forward and down, send the seat bones backwards, other heel forward and down. That's it. We'll go one more to each side. Stretch down through the hammies and into the calves. And then we'll come back up onto both toes, touch one heel down and then the other. And again, going a little bit quicker. Lots of work for ankle mobility, foot mobility, strength through there as well. Working those calves. Well done. We're going to go into another set of those hamstring stretches in a second. So we'll go 3, 2, 1, both heels down. One heel forward, send the bum backwards, and then switching over. Breathing out as you come down into that hamstring stretch, breathing in to come back up. Try to keep that back nice and long, nice and flat. We'll go one more on each side. And then come back. Same again with the walking up onto those toes, touching one heel down and then the other. So keeping the balance, just touching those heels down really lightly. Keep that pelvis staying nice and level, head still floating up. And then we're going to go for one more set of those hamstring stretches. Oh, Janice, you've made it, well done. Oh, and hi Louise, nice to see you. Okay, we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then one heel forwards and down, send the bum backwards. And switching over. Breathing out as you come into that stretch, breathing in to come back up. And we'll just go 2 more on each side. well done. So we are going to go into some of those lunges to the side and a bit of balance. We'll start gently and then build it up. So head towards one side of your mat. Just going to step across, send those seat bones backwards and come back to start position. So like we did in that hamstring stretch, you're trying to really send the bottom backwards, fold forwards at those hips. Keeping the outside of that foot really anchored to the mat and then pushing back again. Okay. So we're going to see if we can step straight back up into that balance and then step wide. And straight back up into that balance. Breathing out to step wide. Breathing in to come up into that balance. That's it. And we're going to add a little reach. So we're going to reach forwards as we step wide. Hands come back as that knee comes up. Done. Keep the lift through the tummy. Keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. We're going to go for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And let that foot come down. Well done. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. So just starting nice and gently. Step across. Send those seat bones backwards and step back again. Keeping the outside of this foot anchored to the floor now. And again, keeping that nice alignment through the body. So just sending the seat bones backwards, folding forwards at the hips as you come into the lunge. Well done. So getting that good old stretch down through the inside of that thigh, working the other side of the bottom. And then we're going to see if we can come straight up into that balance. Breathing out to step wide. Breathing in to step back. See if you can pause in that balance for a moment and then go again. So you really check you've got the balance there before you come back again. And then on the next one, we'll add in the arms. So reaching forwards as we step wide. Arms come back as you step back. Well done, guys, are looking good. Nearly there. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And then let that leg come down. We're going to have a good shake through those legs. And we're going to come and do some roll downs. So I'm going to do a few just coming halfway and into a nice cat and back up. So just see if you can get that breathing back under control, a little bit cardio going on. So when you're ready, breathing out, peeing down slowly as you breathe out. Hands find the knees. Big breath in to lift the tailbone, widen those collarbones. And then breathing out, tap the tailbone. Gently unroll all the way back up. Same again. Breathing out to peel down. Find those knees. Lift the tailbone. Widen the collarbones as you breathe in. Breathe out. Really use the tummy muscles to tuck the tailbone round the back. And unroll back up. Couple more. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Big breath in. Breathe out. Use your tummy muscle to tuck the tailbone. Keep that rounded position and roll up. One more like that. And then we're going to roll all the way down for the next few. So breath in, just lengthen up, and then breathing out, peeling slowly down towards those feet. Breath in at the bottom. And then really tuck the tailbone again. Use those tummy muscles to really stack the pelvis first. Stack one little backbone on top of the other, all the way up. few more. Keeping the knees a little bit soft. Trying to keep the weight slightly forward in those feet as you come down, so you get that stretch into the back of the leg. And the same as you come back up again. Feeling those tummy muscles working. We're going to go for 2 more. Healing down. Hold for the breath in at the bottom. Breathing out. Tap the tailbone. Using those tummy muscles to peel up. Breath in at the top. Last time, peeling down. And we're going to have a little pedal out through the back of the legs there. So lifting one heel and then lifting the other. Squeezing the other heel down into the floor as the one heel lifts and then switching over. And then we'll let both heels come down. We're going to bend the knees, walk the hands forward, come down onto the mat. We'll have wrists under shoulders. We're going to work into cat, but with a little extra bit if you want to. So either just breathing out, rounding the back up, and then breathing into length and back. Or if you'd like to work a bit harder, we're going to breathe out, round the back up, draw one knee forwards, and breathe in to release. Same on the other side. And if you want to go nice and slowly, that's absolutely fine. If you'd like to go a little bit quicker, still making sure you really empty out all of that air as you breathe out and draw the knee forwards. And then breathing into release back. And then allow your head to drop as that knee comes forward, but just check you're not sort of really reaching your chin for your knee. We just want the neck to be relaxed. So hopefully feeling those tummy muscles working quite hard. Trying to keep shoulders relatively relaxed, but really draw that knee up as you breathe out and release as you breathe in. We're going to go for 3. And 3. And 2. And 2. And 1. And 1. And gently back. Just drop the tailbone back to the heels for a moment. Have a little stretch. A couple of deep breaths there. And coming back up again. So there is a bit of plank work. If plank work is not for you, you could do a little bit of level 4 swimming, either just arms or just legs, or alternate opposite arm and leg. If you're happy with the plank work, we're going to step one foot back, step the other foot back, keeping a lift through the tummy, reaching the heels backwards, top of the head forwards. You're aiming for a nice straight line, heels, hips, shoulders. Once you're there, we're going to step one foot out and then the other foot out, and then the one foot in and the other foot back in. So I'm slightly concerned you might not be able to see my feet at all. So lovely view for you now, guys. So we're going step out, out, in, out, in. And just keep working with that. Maybe 2, maybe 3 reps, maybe 10, depending on how you feel. And then have a little breather. If you want to drop back into a shower just for a moment to release off through those arms, do. And then coming back up, same again. So there is this slight cardio theme tonight. So stepping out, out, in, keeping the breath going. If you're really feeling very strong, you might do 10 of those. And then when you're ready, knees down, drop back into a little shell, give those arms a rest, roll the wrists around if you need to. I'm going to do one more set like that if you're still going. Stepping in, stepping out. You could do this down on your elbows if your wrists are getting up on you a little bit. Probably harder work still. I'm going to go for one more to each side and then drop those knees down, drop the tailbone back to the heels. Have a nice couple of deep breaths there. And if you would like to, take those knees a bit wider so you get more of a stretch into the hips, and then we're going to walk those hands across to one side. Find the stretch into the long side of the body there. Just breathe into that. Slowly letting that breath come back under control. I'm just going to take the blind down because it's gone so contrasted in here. I can't see anything. Sunshine. Let's find a light. There we go. Oh, we can see everybody again. Okie dokes. So just have a couple more breaths into that long side. And then when you're ready, walking the hands back across to the other side, finding that stretch. And just breathing into this long side. So really feeling those ribs opening and expanding as you breathe in, and then just sinking and softening back as you breathe out. And when you're ready, bring those hands back to center, walking them back up towards you. And then we are going to come over onto our backs. So grab a little head cushion if you would like one. Play with the dimmer switching here because there's a bit of a disco going on. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe just me. Okay. Okay. So bring yourself down. Find that length through the back of the neck. Let those arms reach long by your sides. Feet hip width apart. And take a little moment to have a brief rest and just tune in with what you can feel through the back of your body, where you can feel the contact with the mat, and how you feel there. So you have just worked quite hard. That might mean that maybe your body relaxes more easily, or it might mean that you're holding more tension than usual. So just take the time to have a couple of deep breaths, really fill that body up with air as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just let the body sink down into the mat. Just keep going with those breaths and notice whether you feel equal contact through each side of the back of the pelvis, through your lower back on each side, across the back of each side of the rib cage, across the back of the shoulders, and the back of each arm. Just if there are any areas that are holding on, that don't feel so heavy into the floor, think about your in-breath flowing to those areas, really filling that area up with air, and then as you breathe out, just allowing that area to soften and melt into the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to just roll the pelvis gently away from us as we breathe in, and then back towards us as we breathe out. Trying to stay nice and heavy and relaxed. Just that really easy roll of the pelvis towards you, and then gently away again. And then we'll settle into neutral. So just finding that position where you've got your small pocket of air under the middle of the lower back, back of the rib cage nice and heavy. So we are going to start with some abdo prep today. So we're going to interlace those hands behind the back of the head, thumbs down the back of the neck. Just check you've got those shoulder blades gently drawing down the back of the rib cage and the shoulders are nice and relaxed. And then we're going to breathe out. Slide the ribs towards the hips to bring your upper body up into abdo prep. And then breathe in to release back down again. And again, just check about that pressure into the back of each side of the back of the pelvis and each side of the back of the rib cage. And just check that you can feel the same contact and the same pressure through each side as you peel up into that little abdo prep and then gently back down again. Team. So again, slight cardio option. If you want to make it a little bit more cardio, just go a little bit quicker. Be mindful that you maintain that same form. You really think about those ribs sliding down towards the hips. Still breathing out to come up, then breathing in to release back down, but just going a little bit quicker. Making sure that you keep your head heavy in your hands. You keep that idea of a soft peach between your chin and your chest, and you're just keeping that there without squashing it. And we're going to go for 3, 2, 1. Release those hands and let the arms come back by the sides. We're going to go into a single leg stretch. So we're just going to breathe out and reach one leg away and breathe in to come back again. Same on the other side. As you breathe out, thinking about those tummy muscles just sinking towards the mat, lengthening the leg away, breathing in to come back. So body position staying exactly the same, keeping that neutral. Just getting that lengthen of one leg and then the other. And we're going to add in the opposite arm. So as the one leg reaches away, opposite arm reaches back overhead, and then we both return. And that sense of lengthening from the fingertips on the one hand to the toes on the other. Foot, not other hand. Really thinking about those tummy muscles sinking as you breathe out. So what we're going to do is alternate this movement with our abdo prep a few times. So this is almost like a little bit of a recovery, getting a little bit of lengthening through the front of the body there. And then we're going to work through those abdominals again. So let's go one more to each side. If you don't fancy the abdo prep, you could of course keep going with this. But as long as you're happy with the abdo prep, interlace those fingers behind the back of the head. And then again, when you're ready, breathing out to slide the ribs to the hips, breathing in to release back down again. Checking you're keeping that tailbone nice and heavy as you come into your abdo prep. So you're not losing that pocket of air under the middle of the lower back. Just getting that little bit of flexion through the upper body, or upper back rather, keeping the lower back nice and neutral. And again, going a little bit quicker if you want to work a little bit harder. So up, down, breathing out as you come up, in as you come down. As soon as that head just about touches the cushion, you're sliding those ribs at the front down towards the hips again. Really use the breath by emptying out that air. It helps to get those ribs sinking down. We're just going to go for 3, 2, 1, and then release those arms, and we'll go back into opposite arm and leg, breathing out to reach away, breathing in to come back. Same on the other pair. And if you find that you have just upped your breathing rate a little bit and the heart rate, try to just slowly bring that under control. So long breath out to reach away, breathing in to come back again. So again, we went a little bit quicker, just checking that you're keeping your position, keeping the control as we come back into the single leg stretch. Okay, let's go. A couple more to each side. 2, and 2, and 1, and 1. And then we're going to come back into abdo prep, but we're going to go into oblique prep. So we're going to breathe out to bring one shoulder up and across towards the opposite hip, and then breathe in to release back, and then the same to the other side. And again, still keeping that little pocket of air under the middle of the lower back, trying to keep equal weight into each foot, each side of the back of the pelvis, peeling that one side of the back of the ribcage up and away from the mat, and then gently back down. and then the other side. So if anyone's neck starts to think, not really loving this, then just have a pause. Let your head come back to the cushion, let your head roll one side and then gently to the other. Don't keep battling on through. We're going to go 3 more to each side. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Going to release those arms. We're going to go into our single leg stretch, but slight variation. So breathing out to slide that one leg away and then float it up towards the ceiling, breathing in for it to come back down and return. So again, really important we're keeping neutral through that lower back. And that might mean that you don't float that leg very far away from the floor at all. And that is absolutely fine. Just breathing out, really lengthening that leg, reaching the toes to the far wall. Little float up and then control back down again. Just keeping that breath going. Again, this is almost a little bit of a recovery round. It's still quite hard work, but just getting that breath back to a nice, easy, long breath. You might feel the front of those quads working a little bit. We've got some hip flexors working, we've got some quads working there as well. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, abs are working just to maintain it neutral as well. Let's just go 1 more to each side. And then we're coming back into that oblique prep, but we're not going to come back to the cushion with our head in between each one, as long as you're happy to. So coming over and across with one shoulder and then rolling straight across to the other side. So you'll come off the abdo prep a little bit, but we're not coming all the way back to the mat. Coming over to one side, shoulder up and across, over to the other side, shoulder up and across. Keeping those elbows relatively wide. Trying to keep that pelvis really heavy down onto the mat through both sides. And that gets a bit trickier now. Breathing out each time you come over and across. And again, if you want to make it tougher, start to up the tempo. Totally optional. You can keep it as slow as you like. It doesn't matter. It's just an option. If you want to go a little bit quicker, breathing out each time you come across. And then we're just going to go for 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1, and release back. Release those arms, and we'll do another set of breathing out to lengthen one leg away and float up, breathing in to come back again. Keeping those ribs nice and heavy. Just, if you have challenged the cardio a little bit, bringing that breath back under control slowly. Long breath out to reach and float. Breath in to lower and fold. Guys. Just check those shoulders are nice and relaxed. Neck's relaxed again. So if you need to roll that head gently side to side, feel free. Just wherever you feel something's tight or tense, usually the answer is to gently move that. Let's go 1 more on each side. And have a little pause. So we're just going to work in and out of double tabletop now, as long as that is all right for you. If you'd rather not come into double tabletop, you could do the one leg floats into single tabletop and just peel the other foot and then gently release down. But otherwise, first leg come up in single tabletop, we're breathing out to sink those ribs down a bit more and float the second leg up. Pause at the top there, first foot comes down, and then on the next out breath, second foot comes down. Same again, other foot coming up first. Breathe out, float the first foot up. Breath in, breathe out, sink those ribs, float the second leg, pause, first leg down, pause, second leg down. So just keep alternating which foot is coming away from the floor first. Really checking that your body position doesn't change at all. You're really using that breath out to sink the ribs. If you can maintain neutral, that's super. If you can't maintain that, don't worry, just really flatten into the mat. Use the mat to give you that extra bit of stability. And if you can feel your neck again, you might need to just have a little move, or you might find you need a bigger head cushion. So we can get going. So if you're happy to, next time we come into double tabletop, we're going to stay there. By all means, keep working with this if you would prefer. And then we're going to go into level 2 scissors. So just breathing out to touch the set of toes down, breathing in to come back up. Same on the other side. And again, each time you breathe out and foot comes down, think about those tummy muscles sinking towards the floor. Breathing in to float the leg up, a little bit of respite. Check those collarbones are still wide, shoulder blades still sliding gently towards those back pockets. I always find my shoulders do want to creep up to my ears. It's a very natural thing, but thinking about reaching those fingertips down along the floor can help to really draw the shoulders away from the ears, and then think wide across the collarbones, wide across the back of the shoulders. Okay, so next time a set of toes comes down, we're going to pause and I'm going to switch legs. So now we've got one leg coming up as the other leg comes down. Breathing out each time a set of toes comes towards the floor. And again, if you want to work a bit harder, just go a little bit quicker. Keeping that position. Body is staying absolutely the same all of the time, just moving from those hips as the one foot comes down and the other comes up, and then switching over. Got a little bit of shape of truth going on here, so if you're finding it hard work, it is. Keep going. If you're happy, if you need a breather, have a pause, have a reset. Don't push on if you feel like you've lost your position or something doesn't feel quite right. Have a pause. We're going to go for 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Let one foot come down, let the other foot come down, and we're going to work up into bridge. So head cushion to one side, heels a little bit closer towards your bottom, arms reaching long. You can keep it as small as you like, just breathing out, rolling the pelvis towards you, peeling any amount away from the mat. Hold for a breath in and breathe out to peel slowly back down again. Again, it's going to be a little bit of a recovery round before we do another set of those scissors. So just working slowly, letting that breath come back under control if you are a little bit challenged. Breathing out to peel up, holding for that breath in, breathing out to peel back down again. Thinking as you peel up, those ribs sink down, glutes really working, femurs pushing away from you. Keep those femurs pushing and reaching away from you as you peel back down again. Go for one more. And gently down. Draw one knee into the chest, draw the other knee into the chest. Just have a little roll round on that lower back and release off. Grab your head cushion back. And then when you're ready, reset neutral. If you want to do just a level 1 scissors, you could do that instead. Otherwise, if you're happy to, first leg comes up, sink those ribs down, second leg up into double tabletop, one foot to the floor, and then switching those legs over. So you're back in your level 3 scissors, breathing out each time the set of toes comes towards the floor. With each little breath out, thinking about those tummy muscles sinking down towards the mat. And again, if you want to work a bit harder, go a little bit quicker. You can go as quick as you like, as long as you're maintaining that same still position through the body, ribs sinking down. Might be getting into your quads a little bit there.
If you want to make it tougher still, you could tap those toes further away from your bottom. If you want to make it a bit easier, tap them a bit closer. Well done. Just going to go a little bit longer before we then come back into that bridge. So stick with it. We're nearly there. We're going to go 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. One foot comes down, other foot comes down. Pop your head cushion to one side. Heels nice and close towards your bottom, and then breathing out to peel slowly away from the mat. Really reach those knees away from you. Hold for a breath in. Breathe out and peel slowly back down. So hopefully getting a stretch into the front of those hips, front of those thighs as you peel up. Hold for a breath in. Breathe out and peel slowly back to the mat. Really want that idea of the spine being like a bicycle chain. One link of that chain coming away from the mat at a time, and then lowering back down one link at a time. Let's just go one more. And then retrieve that head cushion. We're going to change our exercise a little bit, but as long as you're happy, back into double tabletop. So set your neutral or flat into the mat if you need to. First leg up, sink those ribs, second leg up. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back of the head. We're going to go into a single leg stretch. We're going to breathe out, reach one leg away, breathe in to come back again. Same on the other side. And then we're going to add in the abdo prep. So as you reach that leg away and breathe out, sliding the ribs to the hips to come up into your abdo prep, breathing in to release back. So you could do the same exercise with your feet on the mat, just sliding one leg along the floor, sliding back in. So just choosing whatever is appropriate for you today. Just making sure that little pocket of air under the middle of the lower back stays exactly the same all of the time. And then we are going to take this into crisscross. So as the one leg reaches away, we're taking shoulder towards the opposite stationary knee and then coming back again. So we've gone into oblique prep now. As the leg reaches away, oblique prep towards that bent one. And then breathing in to come back. Really empty out all that air as you breathe out and come across. Think about coming so that you really feel those muscles get that little squeeze at the top. And then release back again. Doing really well, team. We are not far off. Let's go for 3. And 3. And 2. And 2. And 1. And 1. And then curl into a little ball and have a good roll round on that lower back. Really well done. Good work. Okay, so either stay in your little ball, or if your body likes a big full stretch and it's quite happy, reach the one leg away, reach the other leg away, reach both those arms back overhead. Have some nice deep breaths into the front of the body. Really let those ribs come up and open as you breathe in, and then breathe out. Let them sink and soften back down again. Breathing in, filling that body up with air. Breathing out, letting those ribs sink down. Two more nice big breaths. Last one. And then bend the one knee, bend the other knee, let those feet come back, arms can come back, and we're just coming over onto one side just to finish with a bit of work in side lying. So we are going to work with top leg straight. Claire, if that is too much of a long lever for you, just work into normal clam. You know what you're up to with that. So set up as if you're setting up the clam. So shoulder, hip, heels, nice straight line. Top hip reaching away slightly forward. And then we're going to straighten that top leg and we're going to pop the toes on the floor. See if you can just slide them a little further away from you. So it really helps to get that length through the top side. And then we're just going to keep those toes pointed to start with. And we're going to breathe out to float up and breathe in to come back down again. And we want to think that this position we've set through the body with this length through each side of the waist is not changing. All that's happening is these bum muscles and outside thighs working, so your abductors are working to take that leg up and away from the floor. Let's check you can got that leg in line with the body. You could just about, if you flexed your ankles, see those toes if you look down the front of your body there. And again, a little bit of cardio. So if you want to go a little bit harder, just go a little bit quicker, but don't lose the position. Keep the form. Maybe that foot doesn't come quite back to the floor, and then you're squeezing back up again. We're going to go for 3, 2, and then hold up there, and we're going to pulse up from there, little pulses. My backside is on fire. We're not doing a lot. We're going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. And drop that top leg down over the bottom one. Little rub. And we will just do some arm openings as a little recovery round here. So if you've got a nice thick head cushion, both arms out at right angles to the body. If you need to support your head and neck, just fold that bottom arm back. And then when you're ready, we will breathe in and take that arm up and over, spinning the ribs up towards the ceiling, and breathe out to come back again. So really thinking about the shoulder blade, leading that arm backwards, fingertips bringing the arm forwards. And we'll just go for 3 and 2 and 1. Done. And then we're just going to prop ourselves up and come over onto the other side and just do that little set on the other side. So shoulder, hip, heels, and straighten up again. Head cushion supporting that head. Lengthen the top leg so it's nice and straight. Toes on the floor and slide that foot away so it just lengthens you through that top side of the waist. Check top hip is stacked over the bottom one or slightly forwards. And then keeping the toes pointed, we're going to breathe out to float up and breathe in to come back down again. Really keeping that length through the waist, so nothing changes through the body, it's all coming from down, bum muscles and outer thigh. You are welcome to have your fingertips on the floor in front of you if you wish for a little bit of balance, but just check you're not pushing that hand into the floor if you have got them there. Otherwise, hand on the hip or wherever you're comfy. So your breath out, squeeze that leg up. And if you want it, make it tougher, just go a bit quicker. Maybe squeezing that leg up just before it hits the floor, using the breath. Oh, it's harder this side. This is my tougher side for this. I've got more mobility but less strength this side. Always interesting to notice. It's getting better, but it's still tough. Okay, we're going to go for 3, 2, hold and pulse. Or keep squeezing up from that position you've set. Keep lengthening through that leg. We are going to go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. And let that top leg come down over the bottom one. Give those core muscles a little rub. And then when you're ready, we'll have arms out at right angles or that bottom arm folded back. And then breathing out to spin those ribs up towards the ceiling. Open that top arm. And breathing into return. So just check that that breathing comes back a little bit slower, just taking the time to find that nice big stretch and rotation. Breath comes slowly back under control. We'll just go for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll all bring ourselves all the way back over onto our backs and have a jolly good stretch. So one knee into the chest, other knee into the chest. Just have a little roll around there one way. And then the other way. And then just come to center and put one hand on each knee and just gently circle those knees in opposite directions. Keeping the back nice and flat into the mat. Just a little bit of movement through those hips. So the knees don't need to go very far away from you, just a little circle. A little bit of movement through those hips one way. And then you can change the direction. Get a little bit of movement through those hips the other way. So this should just feel nice and easy. And then just let those knees come back. Hold onto the one knee now, nice and close to the chest. Pop the other foot on the floor and slide that out of the way. And I'm going to breathe out, push the heel on that straight leg away and breathe in just to relax. You want that lower back stay nice and flat into the mat, especially as you push that heel away. Hopefully you might find a little bit of stretch through the front of that hip on the straight leg as you breathe out, and then just releasing as you breathe in. Just go for one more. And then we'll draw that straight leg back in, hold on to that knee, pop the other foot on the floor and slide that foot out of the way. And then the same on this side. Breathing out to push the heel away, breathing in just to relax. Just notice if you feel the same through this side as the other. Finding that stretch hopefully through the front of that hip a little bit as you breathe out and push the heel away, and then just releasing as you breathe. So for one more. And then just let that foot come back in and let the other one come back to the mat. So we'll have knees bent, legs glued together, arms a bit wider. And very gently just allowing those knees to drop to one side. And then drawing them back across to the other side. Just a nice easy movement. Noticing how that feels to one side compared to the other, keeping those shoulder blades nice and heavy into the mat. Letting the head roll in the opposite direction to the legs. Next time you come to center, just have a little pause. We're going to cross one ankle over the other knee. Reach that knee out and away from you. You might want to keep that one foot on the floor, or if you want to make it stronger, draw that second leg towards you. So whichever position you're in, you want to be actively trying to reach that knee that's sticking out to the side away from you, so you can feel that stretch into the muscles around the bottom, around the hip. And if you'd like to have a little rock side to side, you're very welcome to. And just notice how that changes the stretch a little bit or varies it just a little. ready, come back to centre, gently release that side and we'll switch over. Another ankle over the knee, reaching that knee away. And then if you want to, draw that knee in. Notice how it all feels this way round. And then a rock side to side if you would like to. Ready, come to centre, just release, draw those knees both into the chest, find a little rock side to side. And then when you're ready, either a little roll backwards and forwards or just roll yourself onto one side, come up to sit, and we're going to come straight over onto hands and knees. We're going to tuck those toes under, roll back over the feet. So you can keep the hands on the mat, take the hips up towards the ceiling, just stay here for a few breaths, let the crown of the head hang towards the mat. If you want to pedal out through the back of the legs, feel free, just that little bit of stretch through the back of the body. And then when you're ready, bending those knees, dropping the tailbone, gently unrolling back up to stand. And we will finish, as always, with a nice deep breath in and reach up. 2 more. Last one. There we go. Really good work, team. Good job. Okie dokes. Let's stop the old record.